Hello, and welcome back to Aetheral Space 15.21, The Masked Girls Part 2. Darnell has just flown in from parts unknown.
Yeah, well, not
this
unknown,
jet-setting
Georgia.
businessman.
I unironically think a Final Destination event occurred, right? So I've flown in.
Did you have a vision?
I've flown in, and half a mile from home, I got rear-ended hard while I was in the Uber. So I'm like sopping wet and in pain when I got home, right? But it's not as bad as it could have been, because I have a coworker who's also from the same place I am, but he was at a different site, so he left for a later flight, and his flight was super delayed, and they had to evacuate the whole airport because of a bomb threat. So,
Jesus.
like, someone's out to get us all.
Like, your company is under threat.
Yeah, someone's done
they
something.
They fired a struggling father 6 years ago.
Yeah,
he's got a vendetta.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So something's not right, alright?
Like
But
Walter
no,
White. It's like
if there's one thing I'll crawl through fields of broken glass for, it's a new Aetheral chapter. Speaking of, if you're enjoying the series and want to make my back pain feel better, please leave a review on Royal Road or on Spotify. Please.
You'll pass.
One like equals $1 towards my medical funds. I found out something, you're not going to believe this. Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is blown up, it's got like the I told you about the TV show, and it's got like the hardcover books signings, started on Royal Road, and it started after Aetheral Space, which is fucked up, right?
This can't be happening.
It started in 2022. It started in 2022, and they put it on Amazon because everyone's like, you should self-publish, and it just like blew up. So
this can't be happening to me.
You guys, you have to help Tan make Aetheral Space blow up in the same way.
Why have I got subpar readers who don't make things
happen? Hey! Cut the video! Cut! Anomalous! Cut the video!
Anomalous isn't here.
I miss him. We haven't talked to him in a long time. I hope he knows we love him.
You have his details. You can talk to him whenever you please.
Oh, I don't talk to the help. I'm kidding! I don't mean No, but for real, I do miss Anomalous. I might hit him up. It's been a while.
I miss, like, being able to just say stuff and trust that Anomalous would make it happen somehow.
He was so good and noble and true. He even offered to edit Aether for us, and I was like, I love you, Anomalous, but you were like an individual of like skill and effort, and I could not possibly ask you to edit our like off web serial, not SCP thing. It would be awful.
Anomalous is like, I don't know how we got Anomalous because he's better than this.
Yeah, every time he posts a video, he's like, I just casually edited this hugely viral thing over this
YouTuber. Yeah. Of like fucking God spinning around the screen.
Yeah, we're like, cool, can you edit our shitty audio 80 views podcast, please?
He's like, sure, little bro.
Just like huge fucking 7'12" Anomalous. Sure thing, little bro.
He's at the gym.
Yeah, he's like pumping iron as he's editing.
He's got like weights built into his laptop. He's lifting the laptop. Every time it comes down, he like types a little bit.
Yeah.
He wouldn't make noises. Everything's too easy for him.
That is not a workout. It's just vanity.
Yeah, but it's like he's always.
You've instilled in him a sin. Anyway, okay, we're like 4 minutes in. We have to read. Yeah.
Rather than talk about Anomalous. It doesn't watch this.
I love you, Anomalous. I miss you, buddy.
He's not listening.
Quiet!
Little bro, he's not going to read this.
Shut up! He's not going to edit for you. Shut up! Several years ago, it was not cold that night at the Sed. Amidst the fool's snow, only the mildest of temperatures was permitted. As purgatories went, it was strictly room temperature. And yet, Tybalt Del-Ced couldn't help but feel a shiver go down his spine as he stepped through the graveyard. It wasn't much of a graveyard. The graves were just black bolts planted in the ground, lacking even names to identify those who rested beneath them. The people who ran this place didn't have much in terms of sentimentality. This clinical resting place was the most they could muster for their failed experiments. Well, Tybalt sighed theatrically. I guess we're all failed experiments now. Penelope looked up as he approached. She'd been sitting on one of the graves, hand on her chin, staring off into space, until his words had pulled her back into life. What? She said. I said I guess we're all failed experiments now, Tybalt replied. Yeah, I know what you fucking said, Penelope scowled, but why'd you say it? Don't tell me you were finishing off some big monologue in your head or something. Tybalt smiled. Ugh, Penelope smirked. Asshole. Tybalt's gaze drifted past Penelope, looking to the silhouette that stood looking out at the white planet. How's she doing? Penelope shrugged lightly. She hasn't said anything to me? Does she ever? Penelope shrugged again. If you want to know, she muttered, just ask her. Tybalt swayed on the spot for a moment. He'd really like to. But Erica could be so sensitive. The last thing he'd want would be to make her cry. The first graduate of the set had been the first to test its knives, after all. She'd given her weight in tears already. And yet, if the situation demanded them... Tybalt strolled past Penelope, past the graves, and stopped just behind Erica. It's official, he said casually. Word from the very top. The Sed shuts down today. Effective immediately. Nobody's sure why. Still facing away from him, Erica clenched her fists tight. Just like that? She asked quietly. Tybalt clicked his tongue. Just like that. Dr. Corleo is arranging a shuttle to New Compass Light Point, but from there we're on our own. And we're just meant to accept that? Erica said, her voice shaking slightly. What else can we do? Tybalt frowned. If there was a purpose to this place, I guess we failed at it. There's nothing else to be said. He stood there for a moment, waiting for Erica to respond, waiting for her to look away from the black sky. When she didn't, he turned and went to... No, said Erica. Tybalt glanced over his shoulder. No? No, Erica repeated, although this time her voice was oddly strained. Ooh, aligned right! Oh no, she's getting it. Penelope looked up from the gravestones. What do you mean, no? Erica turned around. No. Aligned in the center, just like she does now. Oh, do you see this? This is something you can't experience in the audiobook version. You have to read it for yourself. To see it. Just throw my voice in different directions.
Ventriloquist.
And her eyes were stone. Oh, thought Tybalt. She's changed her mind. Erica Delsed opened her mouth and spoke with the voice of a monolith. It can't have all been for nothing. Present day. Do you understand now? Erica asked. The purpose of this experiment, the purpose of the Sed, the purpose of you and I, our very existences, it should all be clear. Serena narrowed her eyes. Bruno tightened his fists. She's lying. It's a trick or something to throw us off our game. She doesn't seem like she's lying. She's got perfect control over herself. Would we even be able to tell? Do you really believe her? What, this prince thing is pulling the galaxy strings behind the scenes? Serena? Are you still there? It seems you're having a debate, Erica said calmly. The red light of the Prince Regent poured from the doorway behind her, turning her into a bloody silhouette. That's fine. I understand the truth of this world is a lot to comprehend. Hey, that's my phrase! You can't steal that! Hey!
10 Southern, by the
way. Sorry, I didn't mean to. That's fine. I understand the truth of this world is a lot to comprehend. Tybalt and Penelope reacted the same. If I did believe you, Serena said carefully, what would it matter? What do you expect me to do? I don't expect you to do anything, Erica replied. In this situation, I still have to kill you. Then I have to go kill Anatrice, and then whoever I turn into afterwards will become the Prince Regent's host. Then why tell us? Bruno barked. Because you deserve to know. It's like I said. It's the reason for your existences. It's too sad for a person to die without knowing why they were born. Don't you think? Bruno slowly shook his head. No, I still don't get it. More than anyone else, you should understand what happened down there, right? What happened at the Sed? Why the hell would you want to keep it going? Erica blinked. Because it can't have been for nothing. Narrowing her own eyes, she looked up towards the ceiling, the crimson light dancing across her face. It's as you say. More than anyone else, I understand what happened at the Sed. As the first graduate, I experienced it all before anyone else. But that's exactly why the job needs to be finished. If it isn't, then everything that happened back then was meaningless. She looked back down. I won't allow that. It can't have been for nothing. Erica Delsed took a step forward. Bruno opened his mouth to call something else out to her, but Serena beat him to the punch. Why not? Erica frowned. What? Why can't it have been for nothing? Surely you don't expect me to dignify that with a response. I mean it! What happened at the set? It was awful. But it's over. Even if it was meaningless, it still ended. She frowned, a distinctly pitying look in her eyes. What you want is for it to mean something. And for it to mean something, it has to go on forever? That doesn't make any sense to me. You don't understand it. Yes, I do! No, Erica stomped forward, resuming her approach. You don't. For you, Serena said softly, it never ended, did it? Erica hesitated. Shut up! And like a beast from the jungle, she lunged forward with horrifying speed. Two bodies moving at once, Serena raised her hands, crushing Bruno's force fields into death-thin blades, and Erica surged her gray aether, the crackling energy forming a shape like a scorpion's tail. Ooh.
It's like a story. It's like a story.
Tell another story, Scorpion! Well, how about I tell you what I did to that bitch frog?
She gave me all her money and all her food. But more than that, I enjoyed the look on her face.
And Erica surged her gray aether, the crackling energy forming a shape like a scorpion's tail as it struck at the Dalsad twins. Sting of God! I forgot this guy's voice was kind of gravelly, right? Is she alive?
Yeah.
Tom
maybe
Foolery
I would
asked.
say maybe a little bit Squidwardy as well. Maybe might be a good call.
Is she alive? Like that?
Less he's very dour and he's like this a little bit.
Is she alive?
Yeah.
Is she alive? Tom Foolery asked. Alcera looked up. She'd scooped down a tree up off the floor and out of the blood, and now held her in her arms. The girl was gone from the world, her face strangely peaceful as her head lolled back. It wouldn't be strange to think that she had perished. And yet Alcera Nox shook her head. Splendid, Tom said. Then all we have to worry about are them. Was the situation before him an aether awakening? It was difficult to say, and the border between that phenomenon and a posthumous ability was blurry anyway. Whatever the case, it was something that had to be dealt with. Rather than disappearing upon the death of their master, the two giant shadows had persisted. And if anything, they had grown. The jester had engorged into a chaotic chimera of human limbs, chaotic laughter pouring out of its skin of shade. The insectoid had extended further, becoming more like a serpent, the top half of its body sliding open into a pair of dripping jaws. Both now seemed especially ferocious, too. That wasn't something Tom Foolery was afraid of, but it did mean that this whole thing would take slightly longer. He disliked that. Nox, he said calmly, cracking his knuckles as he stepped forward. I'd like to defeat these things promptly. Do you concur? Alcera Nox nodded, gently laying Anatrice Del Ced down on the ground. It seemed she wasn't one for words. Good. Useless chatter was another thing Tom Foolery disliked. This is a serious business character.
He is, yes, that's the whole thing.
Great bit.
But he looks like a clown. He's like a miserable clown.
I'm literally just imagining Buggy, I'm sorry.
Maybe, yeah, but Buggy if he locks the fuck in.
Buggy if he wore a suit and was in Sigma edits. Then cooperation would be our best move. My ability can facilitate that to the utmost extent. He opened his closed fist into an open palm and extended it towards her. Do you consent? After the briefest moment of hesitation, Alcera nodded and took the hand offered to her. Tom Foolery smiled thinly. This, too, was splendid. Tom Foolery. Blue-green aether crackled around their forms, joined a second later by Alcera's crimson. The chaotic strings wrapping around each other, an aurora of light erupted from them as the tricolor current coursed around and around, their bodies brightening into vague silhouettes of light. For a moment, those silhouettes wavered in and out like a fading mirage, and then they slammed into each other. Two became one. The light faded, and the person that had come about through the union of Tom— No way! You put Dragon Ball fusion in Aetheral Space?!
That's Tom Foolery's actual Aether ability, yeah.
What does this series not have, folks? Tell me. About through the union of Tom Foolery and Alcera Nox clenched their fists. Please tell me you at least gave it a name.
What do you mean?
The fusion. Like in DBZ, all the fusions have names, like Gogeta or whatever.
We'll get into it.
Blue, green, red aether sparked between their fingers. Blue sparkles danced behind red eyes. This form was a compromise, a median between two, a vessel in which to mix the strength of its components. Wrong it's, buddy. A fusion. The beasts lunged for them. I can't do echoing voices, so I'm just gonna try and mix theirs as best I can.
One of them doesn't talk, so you'll have an easy time.
Oh, okay. Killing arts! Nitrogen palm! The androgynous figure thrust both their hands forward.
Because it's just like mental, maybe a bit softer version of tomfoolery's voice, I would say.
Killing arts! Nitrogen palm! The androgynous figure thrust both their hands forward, and a second later explosions of pressure tore apart the outer shell of the shadows coming for them. Ordinarily, that would be a lethal blow, but these enemies were divorced from biology. Nothing but evisceration would do. How long would this dual consciousness exist, they wondered? Not long enough to warrant naming themselves. For now, they'd just be the one... Okay, the Matrix. The one climbed the air. It was all thanks to Alcera Nox's ability. By freezing and unfreezing their feet with perfect timing, it was possible to ascend the air like an invisible staircase and get above their opponents. Does this also combine their aether capacities?
Yes.
Ooh. How many people can be fused at once?
Generally, it would be two. But maybe with a burn, they could put a third one in. It's difficult to say, but generally two.
That's pretty cool. The freezing ability didn't just turn body parts into stone. It pinned them in space as well. Combined with the killing arts of tomfoolery, it made for a formidable toolkit. The one dropped from their non-existent foothold and seized hold of the massive clown, twisting their body around its neck and forcing it into a vicious headlock.
There's tomfoolery disliking the clown.
Then, the one simply froze their arm, ensuring this was a hold that the superego simply could not physically escape. So is he like a clown person, or does he dress up like a clown?
He's a scurrant that is like clown resembling.
So he's like the Eluskans from that ancient D&D campaign?
Yes, basically.
Oh, I love this. Behind them, the ego pulled open its midsection... Wrong it's again. Gotta get better about that, honey.
Sorry.
Pulled open its midsection further, revealing an array of twitching gun barrels. They opened fire as one, unleashing a barrage of shadow bullets that surged through the air towards the one. We forgot to capitalize the one.
They've only existed for like a minute. Give them some slack.
Shaking my head. Killing arts! Crazy dance! Ordinarily, this technique would be performed against a flat surface, so as to produce tremors that would unsettle the opponent's footing. However, for one with the skill of tomfoolery, it could easily be adapted for use in the air, combined with elements of the oxygen palm. The one kicked at the air with the speed of a Gatling gun, sending a barrage of invisible projectiles out from their legs, parrying each and every bullet with flawless precision. Freezing and unfreezing, twisting and turning, the one moved like a spinning top and, with strength emboldened by dual aether, slammed the two shadows together. The two shadows were nearly indistinguishable from each other as they lay in a pile. As the one gently landed on the ground, they thought that perhaps they too had become one. But no, it was just a matter of pain. Well, pain was not enough. The one cracked their neck and the one cracked their knuckles. They had already decided, after all. Nothing but evisceration would do. The decontamination chamber had become something of a mess. The walls and the floor had been torn apart by the caress of hundreds of blades. Bullet holes punctured nearly every inch of available space. Flames, both pink and crimson, lingered all across the space. There was more, too. Other wreckage that the Arcana automatic had left here. Twisted structures of frozen liquid metal, swarms of ravenous nano-automatics dropping out of the air as they lost their connection. Even a replica of the tower itself, half its size, was impaled upon Jamilu's spear. That was what it had used to escape. Jamilu let out a deep breath, standing amidst the rubble and the flames, his temporary companion, Sam Set, standing a short distance behind him. All in all, this had gone well. His abilities weren't best suited to taking on an Arcana automatic. A draw like this, with the tower forced to retreat, was a desirable outcome. What are his abilities again? I know he, has the information access, but I forgot, the spear-based abilities. Yeah.
So he has 3 powers from the spear. So he has Compass, which can, locate stuff. It's like a Google map search and points him towards which direction the thing is.
Facts.
He has Conquest, which scans abilities that the spear comes into contact with and explains them to him.
Yeah.
And Calamity, which produces flames from his body parts or saliva or any sort of...
That's right, he makes the sacrifices, yeah.
Yeah, and those flames specifically attack Aether constructs or Aether abilities. So against an automatic that does not use Aether, he just has a spear basically.
Speaking of Compass, can I mildly spoil MHA Vigilantes for you?
Sure.
I have to actually be careful because this has an ongoing anime now. So if any of you care about that, skip like a minute or two. There's a character I always think about. So there's like this scene where there's this villain hiding amongst the heroes trying to find that villain. And there's a guy whose quirk is like Compass Man. And he's just this like lovable sidekick with a family. And his ability is he looks for something and his body points at it. And he's like sent off in a pair with the killer to go find the killer. And he like does his ability and points at him. And then he goes, oh, I really wish you had done that. And then he murders him and leaves him in an alley. It's so sad because he has like the perfect ability, but they set him off with the wrong guy. I think about that every time. It's so funny. Anytime there's an ability like that in fiction, I just think about that. Anyway, Victory didn't agree. Tchah! The spear clicked a tongue it did not have. Coward! At any rate, the battle was over. The battle was not over. The tower moved through the maintenance tunnels that ran throughout the station, its mind calmly ticking away even as it whispered threats to the empty air. Ordinary methods would not allow it to defeat the one known as Jamilu Aguta. Even extraordinary methods would find difficulty under these circumstances. It was not because Jamilu Aguta was such an adept fighter, or that the tower itself was not up to the task. It was because of that boy. The cogitant, black hair, blue eyes, glasses, Sam Set, a disgusting creature. He was like the moon. He had led Jamilu Aguta through the golden path of battle, allowing the man to adapt to the tower's adaptations. In such a scenario, the battle would stretch on for an unreasonable amount of time. That was why the tower would take alternative measures. No matter how far into the future Sam Set could see, and how well he could direct Jamilu Aguta, both of them still needed to breathe. Neither of them could survive in the vacuum of space. Prophecies were irrelevant. The targets already existed inside the scenario that could kill them. All it needed to do was destroy the station. No complex weaponry or esoteric means were required. Sustained firepower upon the central Cold Harvest engine would suffice. It would be new target acquired. The tower spun, its chassis already opening. Ooh. Buddy.
Sorry.
There you go. Its chassis already opening to
lately. I'm so stressed out.
already opening to reveal a thin rifle that it aimed into the darkness and Thoth. The gun did not fire. Should I know this voice?
No, not yet.
Alright, I'm just gonna go with soft boy voice then. The gun did not fire. That word, that old word, the first of many, prevented it. That word permitted the speaker a 10-second grace period against the tower's aggressions. Ordinarily, that would not mean much. But it gave the speaker a chance to speak the other words. Rider. As the man spoke, he stepped out of the darkness of the tunnels, shadows sliding over his face, a bald, older man with a thin white beard beneath calm, gray eyes. It was not a face that the tower had seen before. Even so, though, it knew who it was looking at. Is this Lucifer Westmore?
No.
The fact that the man knew these words at all was proof enough. Wait. He stopped before the tower, looking down at it, not even flinching as it shuddered violently in place. Right now it was fighting against these immutable aspects of itself, against the response to these words pre-programmed into it nearly a millennium ago. It slammed its hatred against its own bones and its own nerves to no avail. It knew him. It knew this man. Only one man could inspire such odium. It strained to speak, to berate, to curse. Its programming did not permit speech under these circumstances, and yet... Marseilles, to no avail. The tower fell silent, and the tower fell still. That single red eye stared out into nothingness, waiting for the final word, waiting for the final curse. Etela, the host of the prince, spoke the name of its first victim. Override accepted, said the tower. Awaiting commands. Jamie Pirot smiled. Okay, that makes more sense. Oh! Evil! He knows. He knows the words. Edgar! There's no way. What a tease.
You can't keep getting away with it.
So before anything else, I have a question for you off the jump.
Okay.
People mentioned in all the time you wrote him, you never once said what Rufus von Frostburn's or Winterburn. I don't remember which one's the real one. I think it's Frostburn. Yeah. What his aether color is?
Orange.
The people want to know. Orange. You heard it here first.
Orange. You glad I didn't say banana?
No tomfoolery here. We don't.
Where
we
this
don't
is
like
a
that.
serious occasion.
This is a serious question answering. All right, what else do we got here? Lan asks, was there no, we already asked that. Okay. Knight Lavitz asks, oh, no. Here we go. Weiser asks, Skipper said he planned for only the Paradisus to be operational by the end of...
time.
Oh. Did we ask about how Appointment's doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Knight Lavitz says, as far as Panacea goes, why does the Golden Hour exist? Follow-up. Can you say, re-amputate further up an already amputated limb outside of the Golden Hour and get the whole thing back? Finally, could you use an ability such as the one Fel Caliburnus has to put a wound in a perpetual state of being fresh, thus freezing the Golden Hour?
You maybe could. That's a possibility. So as long as it doesn't. So as long as it doesn't get to a state where the Panacea like reads your body, and is like, oh, this is meant to be this way.
Lan also asks, could Anatrice bring back Aether armaments that were lost upon the original user's death?
She could, yes.
I had an interesting thought about this. An infinite glitch, if you will. So you told me a long time ago, I don't know if the rules have changed since, but very early in Aether, something along the lines of if someone's recorded something and they die, that thing's just gone.
Yes, generally.
But otherwise, unless you have a special ability, things can't be stolen from recording. So I imagine a lot of Aether users have recorded like their equivalent to whatever a credit card is, money, treasures, objects of import when traveling.
I think it's quite possible. If you
Is it possible could Anatrice just fish through dead Aether users and like
she
infinite
do,
money
like,
hack?
A Google search and like for any.
No, I know, but
she has to like do prep work to become them.
Sure, but she's got a pretty big list of them, and I imagine at least some of them have had some stuff on them.
Well, yeah, maybe that's how she kept herself afloat when she was adrift.
Using Sam, that's why she likes Samael, because he's the one with the credit card in his Aether.
He knows
She's
all
been
his,
living it up.
Passwords.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she gets his memories too, right? When she pretends to be him.
Well, she basically becomes them, yeah. So
yeah.
Especially at that point, she probably wouldn't have been able to like direct what they actually did too well. So it's basically like, I'll just let Samael live his life for a little bit. Well, maybe not immediately. If he wasn't dead yet at that point, so maybe not actually.
Damn. Knight also asks an interesting question. So Erica has no, because Weiser mentioned that you said Golden Hour is mostly psychological, or partly psychological. Knight asks, so Erica has no Golden Hour limitations if she doesn't want to?
So it's partly psychological on the person's part, and it's partly psychological on the Panacea's part. Like the Panacea, if it like reads you, it's like, oh, it's meant to be like this.
Right, but could you control how you're read if you're Erica? Because you project
it's
such a way.
It looks at your like biological stuff, and it makes a decision based on that, which is on its part psychological as well. So it's like half and half. It's a complex thing. There's not like one single reason for it.
I gotcha. All right, we'll leave off.
So the Golden Hour essentially is how long you've got until. So pre-Golden Hour, Panacea looks and you go, "Oh God, it's not meant to be like that. Let me put new stuff in." Afterwards, it's like, "Oh well, he's never. The arm's meant to be gone."
Gotcha. All right, I think we'll leave it off there.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys.
Yeah, thank you all for watching. And hey, remember how I'm in pain and all that? Leave those reviews, okay? It's the only way to fix it. We have to get Tanhody to meteoric success, okay? We have to make it a kinder world than this. You have to leave a review on Royal Road. It's the only way.
I'll become a kinder Tan than this, I promise you.
Yeah, if you do that, he might let Ruth survive to the end of the arc. So keep that in mind.
I've been giving Ruth so many. I gave Ruth aura and hype moments. What more do you want from me?
It's just, she's about to be like, well, my arc's resolved, guys. I'm ready to. And then the Prince Regent stabs her from behind and goes, oh, I don't think so.
He's just like a guy that comes out the tube.
Yeah.
Like, so you thought I would need a host, Erica? How insulting.
Sorry, I
just made myself a body out of dust.
I just wanted to see how it felt to take a life with my own hands.
I see. This data, murder.
Well, I mean,
in mind.
we never would have seen it because it was always going to be Erica Anatrice. But there's a world, right, where the Prince or Prince Regent entered Tybalt. Would he have been able to make like a specter of them like he did with his ego and super ego?
Quite possibly.
Then that could be kind of insane in its own way. Could be like fucking All for One. It's got all the powers of the past users.
Well, it only has, the Prince Regent would not have...
Well, not Prince Regent, but the Prince. Could you imagine if Tybalt had the Prince? And it was just like, had all the powers of those who came before?
Well, it doesn't work that way, but...
Damn. It would be cool.
It is purely information. It's just like, it's got the know-how, like how it has the know-how.
It would manifest as a nerd with glasses. Go, actually...
It's like, the tower. I remember encountering this guy. The override codes of this. Just say these things.
It's just a fucking Pokedex tower. The killing automatic. The tower is weak to. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye. The tower. Bye.